Hey, yo, GM. Happy Monday.
GM. Oh man, yo, Jeremy, it's Monday. I'm not gonna lie, it feels like a Monday to me. It's got the stereotypical Monday. I'm just not motivated to do anything, but hey, we're here. It was a good weekend. We watched some golf, watched some PGA, saw JT bring it home. How was your weekend?
I mean, it would have been better if, the Mavs didn't go down 0-3. It's all
Oh,
good, though.
hey, they can make history. You just gotta believe.
Hey, they can. They got the guy to do it, but it won't happen.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I think he needs some more help.
And he needs help. My man's back is hurting. The Celtics, to be honest, I almost feel like the Celtics should be the ones that are up 2-1. But anyways, yeah, just a bunch of sports this weekend, cleaning up, doing the thing.
Yeah.
And then, about Mondays, yeah, just almost every day of the week for, the last 2 weeks or so, I've just felt like a Monday. It's just felt like a day that, like, you haven't really wanted to do too much. So I'm ready to get out of this, like, funk that we're in terms of a market, so that way we can be a little bit more motivated. But
yeah, because it just feels like there's... Oh man, because just it's the same old stuff on Twitter, on NFT Twitter. It's just the drama, the people, squabbling with each other. They just, they're going at it. And everyone's bored, so that's what happens. People just find anything. And then the most random projects get pumped, and we're going to talk about one of those. What we talked about on Saturday, but when we talked about it, it was a lot cheaper than it is now. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the market update. Let me flip this. Let's look at the top gainers as we usually do first for the last 24 hours. And yeah, so we've got Wrecked Guy. They're at the top. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen some chatter about this on Twitter, but I still have no idea what it is. And at this point, it's too late for me to ask and find out. So I just kind of accept that and just move on. We've got Creeps, they're up there, they're having a good day, they're up 25%, back to 1.5. The Mories, Crypto Mories, they've fallen down a ton, but they're at least having a little bounce back right now. At one point these were almost 2 ETH, and now they're up like almost 20%, but they're still down to like 0.32. And then the only other one I noticed here was Sappy Seals. They're still around. They're at 0.7. They're at a solid plus 18% over the day. Anything out of these stick out to you?
absolutely not. This is all garbage.
I was reaching for most of those. I was just trying, but yeah.
Absolutely basura, trash, straight garbage. We got Creeps. Creeps up there was like 8 or 9 ETH at one point. Now it's down at 1.5. Smile is hanging on there, 0.5 ETH at the very bottom. But other than that, yeah, not a whole lot of major or good projects sticking out on the positive side. I think that there was only 2 or 3 collections that had over 1,000 ETH traded yesterday. So maybe a low volume day, slow Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, over the last 24 hours, there's only been 2 collections over 1,000, and then the next one is like at 580, not even close to 1,000, which is, in one of those collections, it's not even apes, right? Like, this tells you how the market is right now. It's slow. It just feels drawn out, and we're volumes down and low, and hey, we're trying to make it to New York, have fun, celebrate together, and then maybe after, and I kind of speculate after in New York there may be a little bit of a small bull run, but it may be kind of like a fake bull run, like kind of building off the euphoria from New York, and then it'll go back down to this. But we'll see. Anything can happen. But with the world markets right now, I'm not counting any eggs. I think it's going to be a long time.
Oddities should be the other collection. They did about like a little over 2K yesterday.
Oh yeah, they're not on flips yet. Okay, that's a good call. Good call out.
Yo, what up, Hunter? What up, Chukan? We're vibing.
Chukan, we're vibing. All right, let's look at the opposite end. Let's see who the losers were for the last 24 hours. And as usual, most of these, they're a bunch of nothing projects, right? We don't need to talk about really any of them. The only ones that stick out to me is Goblin Talent number 3, I mean, it says they're down, but they had a ridiculous pump over the weekend. This is the project that we talked about on Saturday because they revealed they were like, yeah, they're kind of a, it's weird. It's a vibe. It was a free mint, and they were 0.06 at the time whenever we streamed, and we are like, this is one of those projects that you probably it's not going to hang around for too long. Well, it caught storm on Twitter. People got a hold of it and got pumped up, and these got up to like 0.7, 0.8. Yesterday. They're down to 0.5, but 0.5, if you were watching on a stream on Saturday, and I didn't follow our advice, or I didn't even touch them still, even though we talked about them, but if you saw those, you're like, hey, those look cool, let me go snag one, then yeah, that's a big W for you. That's a huge win. That's almost a 10x pretty much.
Yeah, from the time that we were streaming, definitely like 10x, especially if you sold near the top. For me, and I don't know why you think that they got pumped, but I did see like a little rumor on Twitter.
Yep.
That people were trying to connect Goblins to Yuga. Like this was a Yuga Labs project.
Yeah, I think that's what caused the original pump is like, wait, this may be Yuga. And I think a lot of people were like, no one wanted to come out and say they believed it, but I think we saw a lot of, well, I'm just going to buy one or two just in case it is. It's only 0.2. It's only 0.25. It's only 0.3, and it kept going up, and then they just kind of caught wildfire. And yeah, and did you see the reason why people thought that, or why they were making that connection?
Yeah, I think there was like 3 or 4 kind of like reasons. One looked like Gordon and his dog.
I saw that one.
One had like a pie chart that said like 1% Goblins, and then
that was the main thing I think people were drawing from was that pie chart that was from the pitch deck that was leaked earlier this year, and that 1% says it's this random thing, the Goblins. It's from the actual pitch deck from Yuga, so there is going to be something with Goblins eventually with Yuga, but it's not going to be these. I was almost kind of like drinking the Kool-Aid because I love like following conspiracy theories. I don't believe most of them, but I like following them because they're entertaining, right? So I was following this one. I'm like, man, I was like, yeah, I could see this, but then I looked more into the traits. And I saw they were like making fun of like the actual traits in the collection. There was one trait that's making fun of Azuki's. It had all the projects of Zagabond on like a t-shirt. One trait had a Luna to the moon tattoo or something, basically making fun of Luna. And I was like, yeah, if this is Yuga, or like once I saw those, I'm like, there's no way that this is going to be Yuga with those traits. With knowing that how they have all these lawyers and copyrights handled and everything, like there ain't no way that they're going to have those traits. So I was like, I ruled it out. There I was like, oh, this is not Yuga,
dude. So just on royalties alone, 21.44 right in the last 24 hours. I mean, I don't know what the fee is, the royalty fee, but let's just say that it's. Are you able to pull it up?
Yep. Yeah, I can pull it up from here on Flips.
I mean, I have no idea what it is, but let's see
if it decides to load.
OpenSea is going pretty slow for me today.
Yeah, 7.5. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
I mean, it was a free mint. That's why it's a high royalty. That's how usually people kind of get those like passed by, but you end up making more money from this.
That is 160 ETH in royalties just in 24 hours. 160 ETH right now is worth about $324,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it's this is like kind of like we see this trend. It's like this is like, I don't want to say it's a cash grab because people are like, oh, it's a free mint. It's not a cash grab, but like this is how people can get away with with having cash grabs without being called out on it. You release a project, you make it a free mint, you add a high royalty fee, and then you make it CCO, and then you say, oh, there's no Discord, there's no roadmap, it's CCO, public domain. It's just, hey, whatever you want to do with it. And you set no expectations, so you technically can't rug the project, and you're just there raking in the royalty fees. Like it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's because you can't be called out for it being a rug because you literally didn't like you've done everything you already promised. You released it for free, and there you go. And now you just collect royalty fees. And I mean, hey, that's the meta we're in. And if you're an artist and you have a dev friend, or you're a dev and you got an artist friend, hey. I'm not NFA, but we got Hunter's got his collection. The Kick W is coming out soon. He's got to convince him that they're from Twitch. That's what he says right here in the chat.
Yep. Make
we
a
could
couple
probably,
links there.
yeah, we could probably start that rumor for you, Hunter. We can we can talk behind the scenes. All right, so if we let's go back, let's reset. Oh, I just sound like a Twitch. I just sound like a Twitter Spaces host. How many times do you see them say, "Oh, let's reset the room now"? Let's reset the room. So let's be like Twitter Spaces. Let's reset the room. Let's look back at the floors for the negative. And again, like we said, nothing really sticks out for me. I mean, looking past Goblin Town, we've got the Project PXN. They're down to 1.3. We've got Beans. I guess that's like a pretty notable project. They're down 15%, back down to 1.4. You know, these were at 1.67 ETH at one point. So yeah, anything else stick out to you on this page?
Just the ones that kind of hurt still. Seeing the Cool Man's down there, 0.4. What a Women Galaxy, 0.55. Those hurt. And then, rip to anybody who bought Beans at like 5 ETH or so, because they're down bad at 1.4.
Yeah. There's a lot of projects on here. I'm just looking through, like, there's a ton of projects on this list that are like in the dirt now that used to have like a 5 ETH plus floor. Like, I mean, Oni's always up here, right? They were at like 7 ETH. The Fanta Berries, remember that whole phase we had? They're down to 0.5, the Fanta Bears, and these were like, this was like the hot Asia thing, right? And they're taking over as the Asia pump. That's what people were saying. And these were at like 6-7 ETH as well. Like, we just see all these pumps just like eventually they die out. That's just, I mean, and after you see it for a while, you kind of you can kind of call it out and everything. That's why whenever people always say the OGs in the space, you're always super negative towards new projects, and it's like, not really. It's just because we see this happen all the time, and we want to protect not only ourselves but people that we know. All right, I think that's it. Unless you had any other notes about the market trends.
Any other notes about the market trends? Well, I know Mito Pereira ended up choking Holy Teen, and then Justin Thomas won in that little playoffs, and then
it's a golf stream now. Yeah, on that note, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of I didn't want Mito to win, right? Like, I didn't go and think like, man, I really hope Mito can win, but I was kind of talking myself into it. I'm like, he'd be like the first Chilean, the first player from Chile to win and stuff, and but then seeing him put a double on 18. Oh man, it was sad. It was kind of sad to see. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I felt bad for him. I was like, I can't imagine. That's that's like that's basically minting like 20 Bored Apes and selling them all for under 1 ETH. And then now you're just sitting in the back, just watching other people win. Like, oh, that's exactly what that feeling would be like.
Yeah, it was tough to see. But Hunter said, how are IQTARs doing? IQTARs are at 0.9-ish with, let's see, I don't know how much volume they did yesterday. Yesterday, about 25 ETH of volume. So probably about, I don't know, 20 to 30 sales.
Yeah.
Some dude had 500 on Mito at 300 to 1. Oh my God. Yo, he's feeling just as bad right now.
Yeah, Law, his post tourney interviews. I'm kind of surprised he actually did a post tourney interview, because a lot of players that, like, if they choke like that or they just fall apart, they say, no, I'm not doing one, and just skip it. So
shout out Cam Newton.
If he can do it, then pretty much no one has an excuse to not do one. So yeah, but definitely tough to see. But I'm glad we got a playoff, because it was definitely, for those that were watching, the 3-hole playoff format was pretty exciting, and JT had a pretty sick drive on 17 right there on the green, and that kind of won him the championship.
Easy.
But all right, let's go ahead and move on to relevant things that our viewers want to listen about instead of us talking about golf all day. So we've got on Sunday, the very first nesting rewards or next nesting level happened for Moonbirds. I'll pull up mine right here. So we've got, you can notice here now, everyone, if you've been nesting since day one, you're now in a bronze. You're on the bronze nest level. Nothing really came with that until yesterday. We were able to claim hats and stickers for this. Did you claim yours?
Not yet.
Yeah. So we were able, I think if you, oh no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, so if you have a Moonbird you're nesting, you go on your website, you can see rewards down here, and you're able to claim the Bronze Nest bundle. And basically, it's just you get a free hat and a set of stickers. So hey, there you go. But you also, there wasn't. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna tell you to be careful with your profile here on Moonbirds because I know that they do ask us for like the personal info and shipping info that's saved in our profile. So just didn't want to see you click on all that.
Let's go ahead and go to this. No, we're gonna we're not gonna go to my profile or collector profile, but so we have the nesting rewards. Obviously, it's kind of like, hey, we get you hold a asset worth 25 ETH and you get a hat and a set of stickers. Like, I mean, it's nothing like too crazy. It's like yeah, it's the least you could do. But they did have something airdrop to all Moonbirds holders if your Moonbird was nested. And if your Moonbird was nested, then you get OpenSea error page. Congrats. OpenSea's been down like all morning. Okay, let's go to Looks Rare then.
One thing that I want to point out here is I kind of what do you think about having to be nested in order to get the oddities dropped to you, even though it's not necessarily tied to a nesting reward? Like it wasn't, only bronze tiers would receive the oddities. It was like if you were nested, you received it. So technically, like temporarily, I'm sure a lot of people who had them listed for sale kind of just or not, maybe they delisted, they nested, and then just for a very short term, right, 24 36 hours or something like that, and then unnested and listed them again.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird, right? Like if it's not tied to a nesting level, it's just like if it's nested. I didn't understand the point. Like, I mean, like in my mind, I'm like, just airdrop it to all of the holders, or just one per Moonbird. Like, just do that, because now they're the extras that weren't nested. They're gonna end up giving them away to, I think they said,
underrepresented.
Underrepresented groups, which is, I mean, great and all, but also it's like, just send them out to all the Moonbirds owners, like just one for one, like whether it's nested or not. But I mean, it's their thing. It's they're trying to get people to nest their Moonbirds, right? And so that's kind of like their incentive, but it's kind of like I don't know, I'm not gonna say it's a Ponzi type of thing, but hey, it's because if your Moonbird's nested, it can't be listed, right? So it kind of keeps the price up.
One thing, it almost causes a mini pump, even though Moonbirds have got to be one of the collections with like the fewest listed out there out of a 10K collection already. But when they said it had to be nested in order for you to receive an oddities, like I think it definitely caused a small pump, because if people don't know this, like when you nest, you can't list for sale, or if you do, you're saying that your Moonbird is actually eligible to be denested from the team. So the team has a smart contract that can denest your Moonbird if it does detect that it's listed.
Yeah, and I think they had an announcement come out and say that like, they've been manually delisting all the birds that are close to the floor, pretty much. But yeah, so we have this airdrop. It's sitting right now at a 3 point. On Looks Rare, it's a 3.25 floor. I'm not sure what it is on OpenSea because OpenSea's dead. I'm assuming it's like we're in that 3.2 range though. They're usually pretty similar now. And it's been the top trending collection for the last couple of days now since it's dropped, pretty much. And what this collection is we talked about it a bit on Saturday. It's owls eat all sorts of things, all sorts of critters, animals, just junk, and then they spit out these like oddities, these like bundles of just random like stuff that they can't digest, basically. And that's kind of what this collection is going to be based around. And they announced that the artist behind this collection is Grimplin, right? The guy behind, he's one of the artists behind Nouns. He's the artist behind Toads, Cryptoads. So it's pretty well known artist in the NFT space. So it's pretty hype. And I got to ask you, I know you're holding Moonbirds. Are you planning on selling any of your oddities, or are you kind of holding on, just hey, taking it to, you're just gonna wait for the reveal? You gonna sell them at all, or what's your kind of game plan with this?
Well, I don't have any oddities. I insta flipped them, sold them first day, No, I'm just kidding. I plan to hold both. I'm gonna keep these as kind of like a full set, just to see, like, wait it out, see if that means anything at all.
Yeah.
And I at least want to see, okay, what they're thinking, because this is one of their first, okay, like Moonbirds first additional like NFTs, right? And so I want to see what the game plan is from here, what their kind of like style and methods are gonna be, and because I would regret selling this without knowing exactly what it's gonna do for our Moonbirds. But if it's just like, you know, a lower tier level to get in, if it doesn't really like boost anything, if I don't think it's valuable enough to keep attached to my Moonbird, then yeah, I would definitely sell. But for now, I just plan to keep both.
Yeah, I think I'm doing something that I normally don't do, because normally when I get these airdrops, I hold tight. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold them for forever, and we'll just, you know, they're free to me, and there you go. I think I'm playing this one a little bit differently this time, and as you can see here, you know, I'm taking advantage of the listing rewards. I've had mine listed on looks rare since the beginning. I've been slightly adjusting them, so I'm getting kind of like the max points. But hey, if they sell, I'm not going to be mad. So all it takes is a small pump for them, for the oddities, for mine to sell, and I'll be okay with that. So I've got mine listed right now. Not obviously, I'm not like, I haven't been like actively trying to sell them. Yeah, like I didn't go instantly list them at the floor. I'm not in a rush to sell them or anything. But if they sold, I wouldn't be upset. And that my intention is to kind of get some of that rewards at first, and then eventually have them sell. Just because I just don't. I guess I struggle to see kind of where the value is with that propping up this floor at, you know, 3 to 4 ETH. I just don't know what kind of utility that they're going to be added that the Moonbirds don't have. But I don't know. I guess it makes sense. These would be like, you know, if Moonbirds go to 50 ETH, then I mean oddities probably go to 8 to 10 ETH, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's something like that. Are they going to be consumable things? You know, like where your Moonbirds eats them? I have no clue. So that's why I just want to figure out what their vibe is for this first time, and then kind of make a decision from there. Because it's not like these things are 10 ETH right now or 15 ETH. No, it's like cheap enough to where it's kind of on that fringe of like, hey, that's nice to have, but at the same time, it doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, and I think just because it's unknown, that's the reason why I'm selling, because there's been several times in the past where I've held on to an airdrop because it's like, oh, I don't know what it's going to be, so maybe it's going to be this crazy thing, and then it's like always like 9 times out of 10 it's just super disappointing. It just kind of falls flat. I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have sold earlier on before it revealed or before we knew more information. So I'm just kind of taking those experiences and just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna try to sell them and just pocket some extra ETH on the side. If they sell, that's great. Especially like in this market, what we've seen before. You talked about relying on past experiences. Is if this airdrop occur, like they're always the highest during reveal, and then after reveal they take a dump, right? And then it takes them quite a while if they recover, like to go to get back to where they were pre-reveal and above. So, you know, so let's say 30, 60, 90 days. Like, what would you rather have that now pre-reveal versus holding it through reveal and waiting for it to come back up, right?
Yeah, I'd rather have it now for sure. especially with where I think the market's heading right now. I think we still keep seeing prices lowering across all collections for the next at least month. You know, at least through NFT NYC, and it's gonna be some good buying opportunities across the board. And I'm kind of looking. I'm not like licking my chops ready to go, but I mean, I'm monitoring a lot of collections very closely. There's a lot of collections there's a lot of like blue chip collections or quote unquote blue chips that I don't have exposure to, and I'm using this time as a way for me to get exposure to those. I'm just waiting on the sidelines, watching them daily, and just kind of waiting to hear to see whenever they drop, and waiting to jump into a process that feels right.
Yeah. Yo, is there something wrong with my mic or no?
Nothing I can hear. It sounds normal to me. I don't know if it's still different for the stream.
And then Arman said, do you think it's worth non-Moonbird buying exposure? I would say maybe, but I would wait for reveal or to find out what they actually do, and then I would buy.
Yeah, because if you're buying just for exposure, then I would definitely wait for the reveal, for that post reveal dump that we'll see, because they'll probably get down to, they're at 3.2 right now. They'll probably get down to like 2 ETH, 1.5 or so after reveal. And that's if there's not really any too much announcements. But I mean, they also could very easily have some crazy announcement that pumps them even higher. But who knows? But I'm betting the other way instead. Oh, looks like we're both breaking up a little bit. That's not good. Maybe there's an issue with StreamYard right now.
Yeah, it might be StreamYard, but I'll check out some like debugging stuff afterwards.
Okay.
As long as if it's bearable or if it gets better, we'll see. If they say it's not bearable after a little bit, then we'll figure something out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on to the talk of the weekend for all of NFT Twitter. We talked about it Saturday. Schiller, VCon, let's go. Hunter says we're good now. We're vibing. Let's talk about these again. We talked about them a little bit, but I mean, God, they're so ugly, and they're up to they just saw a pump while we were streaming. Every time we stream, they get a pump. They were at like 0.5. And now they're back up to above 0.6. So hey,
Goblin Town, gobble gobble.
Maybe we just need to keep streaming about these, and we just we're the signal that people see. They see this like, oh, let's just go buy. Yeah, Hunter, I see that. Yeah, did you buy any of the? I gotta ask you, did you buy any of these after we talked about them on Saturday?
Nah, but I was I was serious about buying like a rare looking one, but I just didn't like take the time to go check. So I wanted to buy like a steal, like whatever, top 15, top 10%, but yeah. I literally just didn't get the time to go buy one. Not that I regret it, but it is pretty funny that literally it was a 10x from the stream that we talked about them.
Yeah, talk about like we talked about it. And neither of us made any moves about it because I don't know. It's one of those where I'm like, I missed the mint. 0.1 is probably the top they can get, so I don't really want to buy it 0.06 or whatever, and then it's not worth it after royalties and everything to sell later. But hey, if you listen to the stream or if you minted, I know several people in the Discord minted these or bought them even before we talked about them, and they're still holding them, like Pitch Dark. I think JVB and Hunter maybe. I know Ayuball has them too, but they took over Twitter. People really like these for some reason. Did you listen to? I gotta ask. They hosted a Twitter Spaces on Saturday night, and I think on Sunday too. Did you listen to any of their Twitter Spaces?
Absolutely not.
Okay, yeah, that was another thing. I listened to that and I was like, yeah, okay, these guys are for sure not Yuga, because it was like this creepy music playing the whole time. And they never said anything. They just talked like you see how they tweet on their. If you go to their official Twitter, it's like the small letters, the "args me goblin," like that. That's exactly how they would talk or respond to things on the Twitter Spaces. And people, it was probably the strangest. The only other space I could think that compares to how weird this was was whenever the Creature World first released, I was on the Creature World space, and everyone was doing like the creature sounds or whatever. And I remember Toasty got up there on the stage and did his creature sound too. But that's what it was like. It was like these people making weird noises. It was just so strange, and I didn't last. I think I was in there for like 10 minutes for some reason, and then I was like, okay, no, I just gotta get out of here. This is strange. But there were 2,000 people listening to it, or maybe not that much. Maybe it was like 800, but it was a lot of people listening to Goblins, and that's just the state of the market right now. We're headed to Goblin Town.
Yeah, that's tough. What do you would you be interested in any project that actually does have some type of tie to Yuga, like what we've seen in Otherdeed, that little trailer? So like the World of Women's, the nouns, all those things. The other project with the crafting and whatnot, like
10 KTF.
Yeah, 10 KTF. What do you think about these projects? And then do you think that it's possible that a new project does kind of come onto the scene in the way that kind of Goblins have so far, but like a real one, and it be tied to Yuga? Would you care, or are you just interested in the OGs?
I think I'm definitely interested for anything. If anything's tied to Yuga, especially if it's brand new, like if you mint it, it's plus EV guaranteed pretty much. So I'd be very interested in like a project that's tied to Yuga being involved in that. I think there's definitely a room for it. I wouldn't want to buy it like after it's been pumped for 12 to 24 hours. But if I could buy it pretty early, I would. And as far as existing projects that are tied to Yuga, like the ones we've seen that have partnerships, or the ones that we don't even know if there's partnerships, but they were in the video, like the WoW, the Cool Cat, the Punk, like you said. Well, I guess because technically Yuga, anyways. But I don't know, man. It's just like how much can that how much can that partnership carry these bigger collections? Because that's like 10K Cool Cats, 10K World of Women. You've got 7K Toads. You've got basically 20K OG, 10K TFs, and it's like 60, 70,000. Almost like 80,000 individual NFTs that are tied to this Yuga like partnership, and I don't know how much room there is for all of them to just kind of expand too much. I think if there is more information from Yuga that comes out saying like, yeah, these collections are official partners with us on the other side, I think they all see a small increase, but I don't think it's anything like too crazy. Like, I don't think we're gonna see cats go from 3.5 ETH to 15 ETH again because of them being tied to Yuga, right?
No.
So I wouldn't be buying based off of that.
Yeah, and honestly, I always thought that the trailer was literally just that they would be a part of their world, and then once the other side website dropped, and there's the MTK for you to bring your avatars into the world, that's when I was like, yeah, I don't think this is really gonna amount to anything in terms of
on the same page.
Other than them being playable characters in the universe, like that's it. Like there's no other ties to Yuga, and it's really not a Yuga, it's just a collab. Edgar said, "Yo, Goblins, I told mine. Yo, sold the top.
Hopefully you sold the top." Yeah, I tend to agree. I think them being in the trailer was more just like saying like, hey, this is gonna be an this is basically showing off the interoperability of the other side. Like you can have things from other collections be used in their metaverse. That's how I took it. Not as, oh yeah, we're partnering with all of these collections and they all get whitelist spots and they all get exclusive access whenever this is released, and they get like, I don't think it's all that. People want it to be like, people, if they're holding those bags, they're absolutely going to be thinking that and being trying to push that because it directly affects them, and that's just how our minds work.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, one thing that you mentioned, and I think it's still on the fringe, but like everything being tied to Yuga being plus EV, and then in my head I was like, I don't know, man. The other deeds are kind of right there still, where it's or especially when you consider the price of Ethereum. Most people are probably slightly under break even on other deeds if they minted, right, when you purchase.
Yeah, I feel like if someone minted with the sole purpose to profit, they would have profited by now. Like they would have sold in the first 24 hours at 7 ETH, right? Or 6 ETH or whatever. And I don't think they would have waited this long to sell. Like I feel like if you minted and you're holding this long, you're probably holding for more of the long term and not a short term flip.
Yeah.
Because that flip was definitely there. Like if your sole intention going to that drop was to make a quick 2 or 3x, then you made it 100%, as long as you listed it.
Yeah, if you did get to be one of the ones that like sold at that price, I think you definitely made your money. And if you maybe sold your Ethereum too, like with the price of ETH, I don't know, that's kind of like down as well. But they did release a little bit of news. I don't know if we're hopping into that or just later, but anyways, yeah, we'll probably get to that. There's an upcoming date.
Yeah, let's hop into it now because we're already talking about it a little bit, so we can move it up. So okay. Yeah, so like you mentioned, they released last night. The claiming window closed for ape holders, for mutants and
so
OGs.
What does that mean?
So that means there are no more other deeds. All the other deeds that can be minted have been minted. So
So not even if I message him and I'm saying, my great auntie, blah blah blah, was like, she fell down some stairs, had to go drive to help her. Like, no excuse matters.
tough luck. It's been you, sir. You've had 21 days. Did she fall down the stairs for 21 days straight?
Yeah.
It's like, you've had plenty of time. People know. So, but there was like, I think like a few hundred OGs and like 600 or 700 mutants that didn't claim their lands. So it's like those. I'm kind of, can we get the authorities to check on those users? Are they okay? Is they I don't know. I feel like I wish I want to go back and see like all of these celebrities that bought apes through MoonPay or through wherever. I want to see like how many of the celebrities claim their Otherdeed land.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Because I'm really curious, because that also would tell me like how active they are and how if they're actually paying attention, or if it was just kind of like a one time like, oh, I just bought it for like a marketing thing and it's just I own it but I'm not really gonna pay attention to it. It's just like it's basically a Rolex just sitting in my nightstand now. But so I would be curious to see which ones have actually gone through and claimed theirs. I can bet some did, like I'm sure Steph Curry, like he pays attention pretty closely. He actually wore a Bored Ape hoodie to the media conference, or the media thing this morning in Dallas.
Oh, that was real. That wasn't Photoshop this time.
No, it wasn't Photoshop. That was real. That was real. So I bet he claimed his. But someone like Post Malone, he bought it and it was immediately in his music video. Like, I don't know if he may not have claimed it. So I kind of look into that. But yeah, no more can be claimed. And I actually made a move. I talked about it a little bit. And I went ahead and sent it on an M2 serum Saturday night. I mutated my noise for ape. So that completed the set for my noise fur, and then I claimed the Otherdeed land, and I got some exciting news about that Otherdeed land that I claimed. Guess what it had?
A coda.
Nope. But it had two resources, so we're vibing.
Hey, let's go.
No. Unfortunately, no coda. But actually, it had like 3 resources. One of them was a 3-star, so we take that. But I did do that, claimed the ape coin, and so now nobody can claim. No more Otherdeeds can be minted, and we're in. And then they mentioned in this tweet as well that they're working on the first trip is coming July 16th, which is going to be like the first. Like I took it as like I think it was kind of worded kind of weird, but I feel like the first trip and then the first tech demo this summer, I think that's the same thing, right? That's how I kind of took it. It kind of sounds like it's separate like events, but I think they're talking about the exact same thing. So I think looks like we're going to see our first demo that we can actually test ourselves on July 16th, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an Otherdeeds holder only, I know 6 weeks or so, 7 weeks kind of sounds like a lot, but it'll be here before we know it. Who knows what the market is going to look like by then, but I would say, if you're not out by now in terms of like selling your Otherdeeds, you should probably wait until we get closer to that date, because I think there will definitely be a move in the market for that, like other side, and that'll be probably your next best time to exit in terms of just having like a floor, or like a basic Otherdeed.
Yeah, now is definitely not the time to sell. If anything, now is the time, like this little lull until that happens, is the time to purchase, because we know at least they're there in the background, and they're building.
So if you're a buyer, and obviously there's a wide range of prices for the Otherdeeds, but what are you prioritizing? Are you prioritizing like area? Bored Ape land, mutant land, the public land? Is it codas? Is it artifacts? Is it coda traits?
That's a good question. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking about it. I think yesterday I was looking at some of the traits and kind of shopping around and looking at the prices. And I think me personally, if I'm a buyer right now for Otherdeeds, I'm not buying a coda, because that's just, I feel like buying a coda right now at like 25 ETH, that's super high risky. Extremely high. I think that's way too high risk, because we still have no idea what they're for. Like I think codas could still be way overpriced, right? So I'm not buying a coda, and I don't think I'm going to pay too much attention to the sediment type. I'm not going to pay attention to the board, like the OG land, mutant land. I'm probably going to stick to the whatever was sold at the public sale. I'm going to focus on the resources and mainly the artifacts, right? So I think I'm going to look for land that has artifacts and land that has several resources, and look for ones that are kind of maybe deals compared to the price ranges for ones that have more or not. But that would be my game plan going in if I was shopping. What about you?
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, luckily or fortunate enough, I guess I was kind of lucky with Codas, so I wouldn't be really looking there. For me, I'm kind of looking at, but I have terrible land, like three, no more than three, or it's a 3-star, yeah. Overall on the land, I have no more than 3-star, so I need like a 4 or 5-star land. I need some better resources, some more rare resources.
Right.
I think there actually will be a decent benefit in terms of the zones of the lands. But obviously I'm not going to go out there and just spend a bunch of money on just Bored Ape land, OG land, just for that sake. It would have to be a combination of, this one has really good resources all around, it's a 4 or 5-star land and it's OG land, whatever. But yeah, I think I'm looking for more resources and then maybe like a rare artifact or two if I don't have any. But again, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, where I'm not really looking for a coda. Even if I didn't have codas, like exactly as you said, 25, 26 ETH, whatever they are for coda, seems extremely stupid. Even though now, technically, after the claiming period ended, codas are more rare than apes. I'm just gonna put it out there. Just saying.
That's true. That is true. They're basically the same rarity as the Kennel Club, right?
Yeah. I mean,
except codas actually get utility, unlike the Kennel Club.
Yeah. Yeah.
We think, but yeah, it's so risky right now with the codas. Like I could see 3 scenarios happen, and I have no idea which one's going to happen. I could see them just tanking in price to like down to 8 to 10 ETH, and then I could see them staying in that same 20 to 25 ETH range, like once we know more. But I could also see like it just be like some kind of crazy, thing that they can do, and just them pump even higher than they are now. And it's because I don't know which ones it's at. I'm gonna abstain and just watch from the sidelines and cheer it on and hold my one coda and call it good.
I mean, that's really, other than that date, that announcement that they said, are we just in a lull until then? Like, what happens? Like,
I was gonna ask you, like, were you disappointed with it? Were you expecting more at, were you expecting a bigger announcement at the end of the claiming period? Like, was this kind of a disappointment, or was this kind of like, yeah, that sounds about right?
I guess I was expecting a little bit something more, but maybe it wasn't immediate, so they didn't disappoint me. But at the same time, I expect them to, leading up to that date, like, they should definitely trickle out like more information in terms of how things like function, or how they plan to function. What actually a freaking coda is, like, what do they do, and then when can we separate them too? Because they haven't ruled that out, that we can't separate them before that tech test.
Yeah, I think we do see more information before. I don't think it's radio silence until July 16th. I think we do see more information, and I would be willing to bet as well that we see some demos and teasers at Ape Fest in person at Pier 17. So I think we absolutely see some teasers there and talks there, and maybe before the demo, we see like an actual white paper of like, hey, this is what the game is. Like, this is what you're actually supposed to do in the game. This is what artifacts are used for. These are what coders do. Like, I would love to see some white paper on the game itself before this as well. But I'm okay waiting. I'm generally pretty patient when it comes to these kinds of things, and but I know that we're in a space, in the NFT space, where things move, 1,000 miles an hour, and everyone needs to know everything now. They get upset if people are holding out information, right? So people are very impatient. So I wonder how the market's going to react to this long wait time we have.
Yeah, that's the thing about all these projects right now, especially like I was reading a thread about, and we won't get too much into it, but like Pixel Vault too, right? Like Pixel Vault, just like we talked about on stream the other day. It's been like a long time horizon for them to complete like anything that they've said that they've that they've set out to do,
Yeah.
right? And in NFT land and NFT worlds, and especially these bigger projects, it's like, are you willing to wait that long, in order to extract the maximum value of either your NFT or selling the NFT? And you really do need some time and hands out here if you're gonna make the most of it.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of these projects are nervous now too, because expectations and not even expectations that people are saying to the projects, but just expectations based off their price. Like if your asset's priced at 10 ETH, or if you're an ape and your asset's priced at 100 ETH, like the game better be like the best game that we've seen in the NFT space. Not the best game we've ever seen in the world, but it better be top quality. You can't just be some pixelated game that looks like it's on the Game Boy from 2000. It's got to be good quality, and I think a lot of these projects are starting to feel that pressure of actually delivering on these expectations, because they saw what happened to Cool Cats. Cool Cats are on a 15th floor. They have these crazy expectations, and all the expectations were completely blown up in a bad way, right? And the project just completely nuked itself because the game was not fun, and it's not fun. It's just it's boring. It's a text-based game. They had so many issues, and their price just completely collapsed and left people with like a really salty taste in their mouth. And I feel like a lot of these projects see that, and they're kind of they feel the pressure, so they've got to get it right. And the further they put it off, it gives them more time. And it's just we live in a world where there's not a lot of patience. But I'm okay holding Otherdeeds. I'm okay holding Pixelvault, just waiting it out and seeing what happens.
How do you think Yuga kind of approaches or like fixes the dilution problem that a lot of other projects suffer from? Like, just addition, like, I mean, they themselves already, if it weren't for, this much demand, because for the number one project in the NFT space, you have OGs, you have mutants, you have dogs, 20,000 mutants. You have the serums, and then now you have the Otherdeeds, right? So as we continue to go across the roadmap, like JVB has already mentioned about MMI versus MD, whatever that is, some of the mechs, would you like to see a certain like method be put into place, a distribution method be put into place, or like do you redeem one or like convert one and that kind of like burns the original and then you get the new one? What do you think?
I think that'd be kind of neat with the dogs. Like
burning dog, cancel this, man.
My wife's a veterinarian. Don't tell her. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, because could you imagine the FUD that would come out if you had to burn a Yuga asset?
I don't know, man.
I think, but yeah, I mean, the mecha dogs, like, it would be kind of cool, like if you send your mecha dog to like this like some shop or whatever, it spends a certain time there, it comes out a new NFT and a new like. Because we assume that MD is Mecha Dog. It's kind of like everyone assumes it's like they're part of the game. So it would be kind of cool. Like you send you lock up your dog in your kennel club into like another contract that's there for a little bit, and it comes out a brand new NFT, and it's and it's like a mecha dog ready for war, right? Like it's like you sent your dog off to training or something, and it comes back a new NFT. Like that'd be kind of a cool thing, and I mean that'd be something unique that we haven't really seen too much of, and I'd be down for that, absolutely. But to answer your question, like how Yuga fixes the the dilution model or the dilution problem for them, I think they're lucky. I think they're the only project that is lucky because they're Yuga. So there's always going to be demand for Yuga products, no matter what it is. At least for now, as long as they're still like at this level, as long as they're perceived to be the top team in the space for over a year, then I don't think it's going to be an issue for them. But if they start kind of failing off on some things, if they start kind of disappointing people and other projects aren't, then it's going to be a lot bigger issue, and we've got a lot bigger problems then.
Do you think, and for other side, we already know the answer to this, like other side, everything that they release is going to be purchasable in Ape, or only like first party is purchasable in Ape. But do you think Yuga kind of adopts that, like going forward, anything related to Yuga is also only purchasable in ApeCoin?
I think so. Yeah, so we've already seen it with the merch drop in March was all ApeCoin.
Yeah.
So I think from now on it's only going to be ApeCoin for Yuga.
Okay, yeah, because that was another question in my head. Like, I know other side said, I mean, we knew that,
Yeah,
but for Yuga overall, I was like, I wonder if things are going to be purchasable in Ethereum again.
yeah,
Because the
and
last thing was what?
yeah,
The last thing
maybe,
was mutants. Yeah, because the other ones
yeah,
were airdrops.
yeah, and I'm still on the page of telling people like if they can't afford a mutant, if they can't afford a dog, or they can't afford an OG or an Otherdeed, I think ApeCoin is still very good exposure to the Yuga ecosystem. Because I think we're still going to look back. I think we look back at the end of this year and we're like, man, ApeCoin was under $10. That was a good buy then. Like I still think we're going to be at that point. It doesn't feel like that now, and it may even go down lower until then. But I think once it's all said and done and everything, once we have that, I think that's still a good purchase for new people to get exposure to the Yuga ecosystem long term.
So I'm trying to just understand what JVB's mentioned in here. Combined net revenue 66 mil, which is 1/3 of what they anticipated for the land sale. Is he saying like from what they made from the land sale, 66 is 1/3 of that, or we're like 2/3 short of what they expected?
So he's saying that in September, the Mecha Dogs and Ultimate Mecha Apes are supposed to have a combined, revenue for 66 million.
Okay.
Which is a third of and he's saying it's a third of what they got from the land sale, pretty much, or what they anticipated. So, which would be the largest. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like this year would be that would put them at the largest revenue for them for this year outside of the land sale. So I wonder if they're going to change that though, because since that pitch deck leaked, I think they were in damage control, and I think there was probably plans to have another land sale, but I think we've already seen that we're not going to see another land sale. It's going to be some kind of airdrop to people that are already Otherdeed holders or contributing in some way. So
yeah,
I think because their perception changed, then I don't think we may not see a big sale like that again.
That's a very small but big detail that a lot of people are missing out on. I think on the deck, it kind of seemed like it was okay. 100K, we're kind of going to these collections, these previous owners, blah blah blah. They got first dibs. Second collection or second batch of 100K lands, roughly, was going to the public. But now, all the information that we've seen on their website is that the 100K lands, the next batch, or whatever it is, that next batch of lands is going to the existing owners of Otherdeeds. So if you are an owner of an Otherdeed, technically you own two. You just don't have it yet. Yeah.
That's where that patience comes out, which the price at that point, I mean, mathematics tells you, once that airdrop happens, then the price should be halved across the board. But we'll see how that actually is rolled out and what actually happens.
Yeah, I remember, and a lot of people may not know this because maybe they got here right when Otherdeeds came out. But for this first sale of Otherdeeds, a lot of people were expecting and anticipating that the projects that were involved in the trailer, right? Nouns, World of Women, the 10KTF, a few other ones, like those were the groups that were going to get some allow list and or maybe some discount, and then that's who the first batch of lands we were going to. But it didn't work out that way.
No.
Didn't work out that way.
Just goes to show you, all these alpha groups, they don't really have the alpha. They just have the alpha to get engagement on Twitter, which is what they did.
Yeah, and they pumped the heck out of those projects.
They did. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool Cats was on there. Sorry, I forgot about them. Yeah, they don't really. Yeah, anyways. All right. Anything else? Otherdeeds other side?
No, that's it. We talked a lot more Otherdeeds other side than I anticipated. So, which is again, I feel like we could always talk a lot about it because it's just
it is interesting.
As long as we don't know, I mean, we could speculate for hours until we actually know details. So I'm just ready to know the details. But I'm also okay waiting. Like I'm good playing the patient game, and I want them to take the time. I don't want them to rush out a product and it be completely trash, and then we're laughed at pretty much. So yeah, take your time.
Cool.
All right, so we've got we can quick fire some of these last little news and notes that we have. So, eBay, we've heard talks in the past that eBay is going to be joining the NFT scene, and hey, looks like they did. I think this is their first NFT collection on eBay, right? The Gretzky one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So it's kind of it's kind of weird. I mean, let's look at the edition of 15. Let me see. It's literally a picture of a Gretzky toy. So I think they kind of missed. I mean, just for me looking at this from like our experience in NFT space in the last like year and a half or whatever, I'm just kind of like, okay, dude, like that's a hard pass for me. But hey.
Because from what I know about it, it's only digital. Like when I saw these things, I was like, okay, maybe it's one of those digital ones where you get to like either keep it as a digital or redeem it for physical. But then, and maybe I wasn't looking in the right spots. But from everything that I've seen so far, like it's only the digital version in this little video here.
Yeah.
So I mean, that part is dope. But it would have been even better if you could redeem a physical. The
animation's cool, but just like the picture, I'm just like, okay, is this just a picture of a toy? But the animation, like the video, is actually pretty cool. Like as like a video NFT. But the picture is like, okay, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, hey, I'm glad to see, I'm glad to see eBay entering the space because, I like competition, and the more hands we have in here, the better other people are going to be. And hey, maybe it's just another way that people are going to find out about NFTs and reach that more mass adoption that we kind of want to go for, and that's what we strive for.
And I mean, I'm completely forgot what the relationship is now between PayPal and eBay, and I remember that they used to be essentially almost one and the same, right? I think eBay bought them early 2000s, but then they kind of split up a few years ago, and but I wonder, like, as PayPal is integrating all these cryptocurrency payments, and integrating NFTs and whatnot, or crypto wallets, I'm just wondering what's the relationship there? Does that provide motivation for eBay to do the same? Are they just being led by completely separate teams, and the timing of this is they're just everybody's hopping on board, so it's just a coincidence? I don't know, but it is cool to see. I don't know if I would say this is a high quality or good quality Genesis NFT collection. I'd probably give them a thumbs down on this one. I don't know, chat. Let me know what you think. Did eBay hit the mark here? Not sure about that. But hey, they're trying it out. They're giving it a go. They're experimenting. They're learning.
I mean, they did the usual playbook, like find a big name that people know, and have some kind of licensing deal, and there you go. People will buy it.
Yeah. But Wayne Gretzky, I wonder what the licensing terms are on this, because for Tom Brady's platforms, Autograph, right? Didn't they already do a Gretzky NFT?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah. So, it's gonna be interesting to follow there. I don't know if I'm not accusing them of anything. Just saying, it's kind of strange to see it on two different platforms.
Yeah.
So quickly, one after the other, because it probably wasn't too long ago that drop happened. 3 months or so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. All right, moving on. So we've got some news for JVB's in that chat. JVB's gonna love this news. JVB's a watch guy, so JVB, you can now go buy. You can looks like Swiss watchmaker Tag Heuer now accepts cryptocurrency in US.
Yeah. Little comment here by Andy. I don't know, is it Andy or Jandon? I don't know. Andy. Anyways, this is true. I forgot to mention that it's one of is who eBay collaborated with to do the drop. So that's just FYI if you don't know who one of is. That's who's doing all the sports licensing, digital content, blah blah blah. So it wasn't just eBay themselves, but it was in collaboration with one of.
Perfect. Yeah, it looks like they're using Tezos and Polygon for their blockchains as well for their NFTs. Cool. Yeah, that's a good shout out. Thanks for that, Andy. All right, so we've got.
Yeah.
So
So
you sent this over. What you
So
got?
what does this mean? Are you gonna get a collection of tags now? You know, tag line. You get a little branding, a little sponsorship, maybe NFA. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I've already seen
sponsored
people
by
getting
Tag
DMs
Heuer.
for I think it was Hunter or Harry. Someone got like a shill DM. You know, they got someone was trying to shill some tag coin, and hey, you know, we got tag coin, we got tag Heuer. You know, hey, we got my whole brand working right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're making moves over here, but yeah, it's kind of weird now. I mean, the Swiss, so it's a Swiss company, obviously, but they know where the money is, or they know where the money is coming from in terms of these
Uh-huh.
purchases. It's largely controlled, or a lot of their volume comes from the U.S. essentially, right? So they have approved cryptocurrency payment via BitPay for U.S. clients only for their watches.
Yep. It looks like you can use Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and then some stable coins.
Stable coins.
Do they take UST, you think?
But you'll be able to pay up to $10,000 per transaction with
Yep.
no minimum spending requirements. So what do you think about this? Like we've seen payment processors such as PayPal and whatnot get their hands in the game, but now we kind of have like this luxury brand straight up like
Yeah.
first party almost like accepting cryptocurrency payment.
I mean, I think it makes sense, right? I think it makes complete sense that we see luxury goods and luxury brands starting to accept cryptocurrency as payments. Because I don't know about, I mean, I'm sure in Dallas, you guys have these as well. But even up here in Kansas, there's a car dealership here in Manhattan, Kansas, that accept cryptocurrency as payment. So I mean, I think it's bound to happen once you have all these like high price goods. They want to open up their doors to accept money from other avenues. People have money parked not in just U.S. not just the U.S. dollar anymore. You know, we're kind of entering this new age, and I think these luxury brands are gonna be the first ones to try to tap into that, and that's what we're seeing with Swiss right now. And they're trying to get this is them trying to be relevant. They got to stay up. You know, everyone talks about Rolexes. You know, it's all about Rolexes on everyone's flexing Rolexes on an NFT crypto Twitter, and they're like, hey, we don't like that. We want you guys to flex one of ours.
All right. Well, there goes any chance of a partnership and sponsorship. So GG's
From
tagline.
Rolex. Yeah.
But yo, Rolex hit us up. But at the top, like it's cool to see this transition, this period of time that we're in, because at the top you see people like Visa and MasterCard and a bunch of other processors like that, banks,
Yep.
Capital One, Chase, all those guys, JP Morgan, Chase. So they kind of lead the way, and then you see these services, you know, such as PayPal, Venmo, Robinhood, kind of like at that next tier. And then now we're kind of getting into that point where it's like these individual brands, right? And not just small brands, but large brands getting into not only crypto but also NFTs, right? Like we've already seen it with Nike and Artifact. There's countless, or I can't say countless. There's quite a few big brands that are in the space now.
Yep.
And that's how you start a movement, right? Like that's
And
how
even more looking to get in.
yeah,
Like Starbucks, right?
absolutely. Starbucks, Domino's, Pizza Hut, you know, all those guys, they're getting into the space. They're trying to figure things out. And that's why, for me, you know, during a bear market like this, I don't really panic too much. Are they going to come in and save the day? You know, is one of them going to come in and save the day? Absolutely not. But these things take time, and they know that, you know, the adoption is happening, but it doesn't happen overnight. So for me, that's what's exciting, and that's why long term I'm not worried about. Well, really, I can only speak for Ethereum and NFTs. Can't really talk about, I don't know, Solana or Tezos or Bitcoin, but for Ethereum, yeah, I'm not stressing.
Yeah. Even with the current, I mean, just kind of on that note, like I'm still so bullish on Ethereum. Just with, it's still like second to none in what people can build on top of Ethereum, right? And that was kind of reaffirmed to me today. I was reading about someone trying to have someone was trying to have basically like this this way that you could preview like a transaction before you approve it. And there's like some tech brand was like, oh yeah, we could do this, but the only way we'd be able to, like, it's pretty easy. We could install it right now and have it, fairly quick be ready for people on Ethereum. But everywhere else, like it's going to take a while to get there because it's more complicated. And it's just kind of like showing me like Ethereum is just, it's so easier for people to build things on Ethereum right now, and it's going to keep growing. And it looks like we have, I mean, I don't think we talked about too much, but Vitalik confirmed that August we're going to be seeing I think is the merger or whatever the big event's happening, where it's kind of switching up how it's going to proof of stake now, right? Or was it going to proof of work?
Proof.
I'm not the
stake
tech guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's switching to proof of stake, and that's gonna be happening in August, and that's gonna be a good time. And yeah, I'm still very bullish on Ethereum long term.
Yes, sir.
Like you said. All right, one more little note and thing. So we've got some little Top Shot news. So we got the first kind of like big time name from before 2000 is entering Top Shot. So we've got a Magic Johnson drop. This was announced this morning actually. This is on I think June 7th. So it's still it's like 2 weeks away. It's plenty of time away. Plenty of time before then. But yeah, Magic Johnson's. We're gonna have Top Shot moments of Magic Johnson on NBA Top Shot, which is I know we don't talk too much Top Shot on here, and if we do, we're usually clowning on them because they mess up everything. But I mean, this is cool, right? I think this is awesome, and I think a lot of people's first reactions when they saw this was like, okay, that's cool, but when MJ. Right, like people are waiting for those Michael Jordan moments, which that's probably going to be a little bit more complicated because he's probably a little bit more complicated to I guess to secure some of those royalties and licensing contracts as opposed to someone like Magic Johnson. But yeah, I mean, I know you're kind of involved in NBA Top Shot. Passively, probably.
Yeah.
It's there on the side. But did you see this? And I mean, what's your reaction? Does this move the needle for you at all? Does this get you excited?
Does not get me excited again for Top Shot. I think it is pretty cool. They need stuff like this, so it doesn't move the needle. But if they're not doing things like this in special features and limited drops like this, then what are they doing? Right? You can't just keep releasing packs after packs after packs. You've got to have things that are a bit more unique. In a sense, like a cool experience and not something that's on your platform every single day. So it is cool. Not a huge Magic Johnson fan, but I like what they're doing here, but it's not like I'm not going to give them props. This is just par, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't give them props either. This is kind of like, okay, good. I expected this to happen sometime, so now it's finally happening.
Yeah.
We got some of these more historic players coming in. So, but yeah, that's just real quick news. If you're involved in Top Shot, still a fan of it, definitely something to look forward to. We'll be talking about it in the Discord as well.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Any other final news, notes, anything you got for us?
Did want to, well, not shout out, but just bring to your attention, like GameStop. We talked about on Friday, somebody creating their own wallet. Oh, Robinhood. But GameStop just created a wallet, right? And we talked about a lot of these brands and companies and all these guys like making a wallet by themselves. And what do you know? Monday announced GameStop. They created a wallet for crypto and NFTs. It is a non-custodial wallet. It's a web browser extension right now that you can use in Chrome or Brave. I wouldn't suggest downloading it right now and giving it a shot. Let somebody else figure all that out. Let them try it. But they did release that. I think either today or yesterday.
Cool. And I know that GameStop's they've been interested in looking to get into NFTs for a long time now. They've been having the moves with LRC with loop ring and everything, and I mean that's been going on for quite a bit. So
yeah, and that you can find if you want to learn more. That's just at like wallet.gamestop.com. I'm not trying to scam you. Blah blah blah. Wallet.gamestop.com. And then Law Dog, thank you for stepping out. Have a good day at work, brother. And the other announcement I wanted to share was that Super Gucci Snapshot to redeem your ceramic art piece, like handmade ceramic art piece. will be postponed to June 17th. So they kind of rugged for about 3-4 weeks. That's not going to happen until June 17th. And then, but it's not a reason to sell if you were just holding for that, because they also announced that part 2 of the Super Gucci airdrop is coming soon. So that is Super Gucci. You can follow them on Super Plastic on Twitter, get some more information there. And then I just wanted to share a raffle with some people. That is via pre-mint in the exclusible penthouse mint that they have coming up. It's not just a pretty, architectural rendering or video or anything like that. This is actually by a company that's been around for quite a few years, Spatial IO. They've worked in the VR space, VR and AR. They're kind of getting into NFTs via. You've played around with On Cyber, right? Like those rooms where you can decorate with your NFTs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Spatial is doing that, but kind of on crack, and then also just via their own platform.
Sure.
So Spatial is making these spaces, but they know that being social is like a key part of it. Like, not only do you want to show somebody that through your phone or through your VR headset, but they want you to be able to share that experience with others, first party. So in each of these rooms, for example, this exclusive penthouse, you can host up to 50 people at any given time in your space, and you tour them around, have a party, go nuts, go crazy in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, I think the public sale price is 0.6 ETH. The allow list price, which is what you'll win from this raffle, is 0.4 ETH. And then if you have an alpha, theta, a villa, or an island, you get the preferential price of 0.3 ETH. So just wanted to give you guys that information because it will be VR and AR compatible. There's not too much like it on the market. I have no idea what the market is going to value this at, but it's just kind of like a neat, like a neat NFT for me. Like,
Sure.
The way that we use, if you want to display your NFTs in Sandbox, you need a Sandbox land, and then you need somebody to build a space, and you got to go decorate it, right? Or even World Wide Web, where it's 2D, kind of like pixelated. You can display your NFTs in there, but it's pretty much like 1% at a time for your private room, and it's only in a 2D space. Again, this is VR, this is 3D. Yeah. So, yeah, just giving that a little shout.
Yeah, definitely a good shout out right there, for sure. All right, well, I think that is all that we had, unless you got anything else.
That is it.
Cool. Well, we will be back here on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, which is our time. And yeah, until then, hopefully we get some big news to talk about on Monday or on Wednesday. But maybe we'll try to figure out to have someone come on, and we'll bring back Pick'em and have a Pick'em on Wednesday if we can get a good Pick'em. So if you have a good idea for something that would be good for us to do a Pick'em on, hey, tweet at us, DM us, add us on Discord, let us know what you think, and we can do that. But until then, everyone, enjoy your Monday. Try not to be too sluggish, because it does feel like one of those. It feels like a Monday. It feels like a super Monday. But enjoy your Monday. Enjoy your Tuesday. We'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. And until then, be your own alpha.
Yo, be your own alpha. Peace. See you on Wednesday, brother. Peace.